Greetings, my name is Professor Harmon, and today I'm going to be talking to you about library resources for English 288. Specifically, we're going to discover tools available to help you access the literary criticism and discuss how to search and find books and journal articles on Shakespeare's As You Like It. I've had the opportunity to work for this class for many years in person, and while this class is online, you still have access to a rich array of resources both online and physically through the Greg Graniteville Library. So by the end of this video, you should have all the tools and resources and know how to be successful with finding the research for this assignment. Before we get started, let's review some of the resource requirements for this assignment. Looking at your second paper guidelines, you can see that you need to have 4 total sources for this assignment. One of those sources will be the play As You Like It, and then you will need 3 additional secondary sources. You also need to be finding scholarly sources. And as stated in your assignment, and this is a quote, unless you receive specific authorization from me, and that's Dr. Smith, all of your secondary texts must be library-based sources, hence web-only sources are not allowed unless they are part of our library's electronic database system. So again, you really need to be going through the library's resources rather than just finding things on the open web. And you'll notice that there is no strict date limiter, especially with history and literature. A lot of times older materials are acceptable, so I'm not seeing any date limit for these resources. Now, in addition to those 4 sources, you can use and cite the Oxford English Dictionary, and I'll show you how to access the online version of the Oxford English Dictionary. But that doesn't count towards one of your sources, but you can use and cite it in addition to the other 4 sources. So before we dig in, I did want to highlight Ask the Librarian. So if you are stuck and you're not finding materials, or you can't access the full text of something, or you're struggling offline, you can reach out and talk to us. There are a couple ways to reach a librarian. So we have Ask a Librarian chat 24 hours a day, Monday through Friday. And so you can chat with a librarian 24 hours a day, Monday through Friday, and then 8 a.m. to midnight on Saturday and Sunday. Another option is to book a librarian. And so when we get to the library webpage, I'll show you how you can go into Book a Librarian. You can look at all the available times. You can even see what times I'm available. And then you just pick a time, and then it will set up a meeting for us to meet online. The other thing I wanted to bring to your attention is that you may be accessing, and probably will be accessing, resources from off campus. If you have any problems logging in, we do have a dedicated help page. So do know that if you are stuck and you're not finding things, there is help. So when we start researching materials for this class, we're going to be looking in a very specific type of research, and that is called literary criticism. Literary criticism is the scholarly output of experts who specialize in literature. And so they'll effectively take an original work and then they'll delve really, really deeply into different aspects. They'll critique, they'll analyze, and this is the body of literature that we need to be looking at for this assignment. Now, this is a field that is very heavily published in book form, so you will find a lot of books that contain literary criticism, but you'll also find a lot of journal articles that contain it. So we're going to be looking in the library catalog as well as special library databases focused on literary criticism. If you go directly to Academic Searchpreneur and start looking for things, you're not going to have as much luck because there are specialized databases for literary criticism. So we can go to the USC Aiken Library Catalog, and here we can look for individual books, so individual works that are focused on criticism, and you can find these in print and ebooks, and I'll be showing you how to limit to both of those. There are also reference works, and for this assignment in particular, one key reference work will be the Oxford English Dictionary. It is available in print in the library, but it's also available via the database, and I actually find the database to be really easy to navigate. The other place to look is in some of our library databases. So remember I mentioned that there are some specialized databases. The first one is MLA International Bibliography, the second is Jstor, and the third is Literary Reference Center. And so these are the 3 best databases for this assignment. In a few moments, I'll be showing you how to access these as well as how to search them. In order to access these resources both on and off campus, you will need to log in. So when you click any of the individual databases, it's first going to ask you to sign in. So click Students, Faculty, and Staff, And once you click on Students, Faculty, and Staff, a page is going to show up that's going to allow you to enter login information. And so this login information is going to be the same as your USC Aiken email. So for example, I'm going to put deborah.t@usca.edu, and then I'm going to put in my email password. If you have any problems logging in, please feel free to reach out to us, or if it has anything to do with the login expiring or not working, you can always contact the USC Aiken Help Desk as they manage these passwords. Before we dive into the databases, I did want to talk about some search strategies for literature. I like to call them research recipes, and on the left-hand side you'll see some sample recipes, and on the right side you'll see some examples. One of the great things about literature research is you know something. You know the author and the title, and that's going to take you really far into your research. So for example, the first research recipe is Shakespeare plus a cultural context, or As You Like It plus a cultural context. And so for example, if I had chosen idea 1, I could do Shakespeare and gender, and then even As You Like It and gender. I would actually start with As You Like It and gender because that's going to be more specifically catered to this story. But if for some reason you're not finding a lot or you want to dig a little bit deeper, go ahead and try Shakespeare and gender. Also feel free to play around with different words. Instead of gender, you might try Shakespeare and cross-dressing or Shakespeare and another cultural issue. If you chose the approach of analyzing an individual character, again, you could look at an individual character name, so Shakespeare and Ganymede, or As You Like It and Rosalind. So I think you kind of see the model that's going on here. Always anchor your search in either the author or the title of the work, and then use another word that's going to help you tap into that conversation. If you're struggling to find relevant information and you're looking in the literary criticism databases, this is probably where it lies. And so if you are not finding those relevant articles, you can reach out to me and I'll help you with the research. Or if you're still wondering about where your topic is going, talk to Dr. Smith. She's a great help. So let's start with some of the library resources. I'm going to show you from the home page of USC Aiken how to get to the library page. So I go to usca.edu. And then under academics, you'll notice a page pops up and the library is the first one under academic resources. Once I click on that, I'm going to be taken to the library's homepage, and here through the toolbox is where I'm going to be able to access all of the major research tools. One of the things I did want to bring your attention to is how to get help. And so if you click on the Get Help, you can either ask a librarian, so this is how you can access Chat with a Librarian, or you can book a librarian. I'll show you what that page looks like. And so you can go here and select a librarian. And so if you want to see an appointment with me, for example, and I'm Deborah Harmon, you can pick a day and pick a time and just click on it and fill it out, and then that'll set up an electronic appointment for us. But again, if you want immediate help, you can go ahead and just simply click the Ask a Librarian and chat with us. Okay, to start our research, I'm first going to go to the Research Guides. And so if you go to the third tab over to Research Guides, you'll notice that there is a guide for literary criticism. So I'm going to locate literary criticism and then hit go. And so this is going to take us to our literary criticism research, which is our library home for all things literary criticism. The first place I'm going to go to is Find Articles. And so this is going to take you to those databases. And so you'll notice here the database is MLA International Bibliography, Jstor, and then the third one I recommend is Literary Reference Center. So we're going to explore these in a little bit more depth before we dig into the books. So to access MLA International Bibliography, I'm simply going to click on its name, and it's going to ask me to log in. You'll probably notice that this database looks a lot like an old friend of yours, Academic Search Premier. We know we're looking at MLA International Bibliography because it says here, and do know that this is looking at a different slice of content than ASP. So next I'm going to go back and look at my research recipes, and I'm going to type in As You Like It and then gender. You'll notice that I put quotation marks around As You Like It, and because that's a lot of common words, I want it to look for it as a title together. So I'm going to put As You Like It in quotation marks, and then I'm also going to say that I want articles that talk about gender. I'm now going to hit search, and you'll see that I come back with a number of resources. The first thing I want to do is go ahead and go down here to the Limit To and limit it to scholarly peer-reviewed journals. Make sure you are limiting the scholarly peer-reviewed journals. And now that's going to come back with 11 results that talk about as you like it and gender. And so now I can go through and try to find articles that I might want to actually look at. So if I want to look at this article, for example, what you'll notice is there's not a direct article to a PDF down here. And so what I'm going to need to do is click on Find It at USC Aiken. And what this is going to do is see if we have it full text in another one of our databases. So I'm going to click on Find It at USC Aiken, and it's going to open up a new page that's going to show me my access options. So you'll see here that I have the title of the article and some information about it. And then down here, I'll see full text availability. I'll notice that I have two options here, the first being Jstor Arts and Sciences. That means that we should have the full text of this article in Jstor Arts and Sciences, so I'm going to click on that. Sometimes when you come to this page, it can take a moment to load, so just be patient and let it do its thing, and it will eventually show up. So I'm going to click on Jstor Arts and Sciences, and then that's going to take me over to another one of our databases, which I'll be showing you in a minute, called Jstor, and then I can download the PDF here and have it for my research. Going back to the results list, I'm going to click on another entry that says Find It at USC Aiken. And so you'll see that when I get down how to get it, it asks me to sign in and see if there's additional options, and then an ILL request. What this means is we do not have the full text of the article through our resources, and I will need to put in an interlibrary loan request. Effectively, what this is a way for us to request articles from other institutions. So again, I encourage you to go deep. Y'all are advanced researchers at this level, but if you are getting really frustrated and you just want to access things you have immediate full text access to in this database, you can go to our limiters here and click Linked Full Text. And what that's going to do is that's going to then pull up the things that have direct PDFs. So we're back to the database list, and I think we're going to click on, which is probably my favorite of the literary criticism databases, and that is Jstor. Everything in Jstor is scholarly, and most everything in Jstor will be full text. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Jstor, and I'm going to be taken in, and now I'll have an option to do my search. So I'm going to do as you like it, quotes, and because I want to have a second term, gender, and then hit search. And then it's going to bring back its results, and so I can scroll down and see if there's anything I would like to access. And so if I want to access this one, for example, I can open it up, and then I can see a preview of a couple of pages and sometimes read it and read the first part of it and see if it's something I like. If I do want it, I will go over to Download PDF, accept the terms and conditions. You usually have to do that once. And then it's going to pull up the individual article. And then one of the things I really love about Jstor is it always has this kind of title page that has all the information you're going to need for citation. It won't be in correct MLA format, but it will give you all the pieces that you will need to be successful. And then if you scroll down, you'll see that the full article is available below for you. Now, to save this to your computer, there's not a nice email function within Jstor, so you do have to physically download things to your computer. So I would hit the download button, and then it's going to take me through the normal processes of going through and saving things on my computer. I'm not going to go in super depth because it is very similar in nature to MLA International Bibliography, but I do also recommend looking at Literary Reference Center too. Now, the other resource that you can use but doesn't count towards any of your 4 sources is something called the Oxford English Dictionary. And so if you scroll a little bit further down this page, you'll find the Oxford English Dictionary. This is a database. And so I can go in here and I can do a quick search and hit go, and it's going to be a full access to the Oxford English Dictionary online. Now that we're done talking about the databases, I'm going to show you how to use our new library catalog. So our new library catalog is a little bit different. By default, our new library catalog will search across books and ebooks and journals too. I still do recommend going to the databases first because I do think they have a little bit more of a comprehensive search across journal articles, but when looking for books, this is the place to go. So I'm going to go ahead and enter my search terms in. So I entered as you like it and gender, and I'm going to hit search. And you'll see that a mere 1,664,184 results came back. Now that's a little unwieldy, so since I'm looking for books in the library catalog, there's a couple ways I can do that. I can either change this scope from looking articles and books and more to just the Graniteville Library and rerun my search, or I can go over here and choose my availability as well as my resource type. So since I'm only looking for books, I'm going to go down here and limit it to books, and then it's going to rerun my search and only bring books back. And so I can go through here and see if there's any book that I want. Now, if I'm off campus and I'm a remote learner, you're probably going to want to focus on things that are available online. So I can click Available Online. And so that's only going to bring up our ebooks. So let's look about how to access the ebooks through this. So I'm going to use the first one as an example. This is not something you need because you already have the story, but I'm going to use this as a way to show you how to access the full text of an ebook. So I opened up this entry, and then I can go down to the full text availability view online, and you can see I have a couple of options here for how to access the full text of this ebook. I'm going to choose one, so I'm going to choose eBook Central. But since I'm here, I can go ahead and read online and then be able to search within the entire book. I can look at the different chapters, and I'll have the full book available to me in a digital space. What I do really like about the full text books is, again, you can full text search through here, and you also have the ability to download. Now, I wouldn't recommend downloading the entire book, but you can go through and download individual chapters or different sections to your desktop. Now, if I wanted to get a physical book from the library, I can click Remove Available Online, and then I can choose ones that are held by the library, and so this is going to limit to things actually physically available through the Graniteville Library. And you have a couple of options, so you can either still physically come into the library and pick up books, or you can also use our request system and or curbside delivery. So if you come in here and you want to see if you want to request it, so we do have this book, it is available, and if you want to request the book or either have it available for curbside delivery, you will sign in, and then once you log in, you'll now see a request option. And so I'm going to request this book, and then all I have to do is go here and say I want to pick it up at the library, and then hit Send Request. Now, I can either physically just walk into the library and they'll already have it checked out for me, or if I do want to schedule curbside pickup, once you receive the email confirming your pull request for the book, you'll have an option in there to schedule curbside delivery. The other thing I wanted to bring to your attention is MLA Citation Support. If you are on the library's homepage, you can go under Research and then Citations, and here we have all of our citation guides. And so I can go here to MLA and I can see our quick sheet, I can see video tutorials and some other resources to help me with MLA citation. Please know that I'm here to help you. Again, I'm Professor Harmon, and you can either contact me through my email at deborah.t@usca.edu, or you can go in and book me through Book a Librarian. Happy searching!